Greetings and welcome to STEM Inspired, where we utilize personal stories and experiences to interest the possibility of a STEM profession in adolescence. I'm your host, Jacob Zendejas. Today on the show we have a mechanical engineer. Please give a warm welcome to Alma Rubalcava. Could you tell me your name and what you do for a living?
Sure. My name is Alma Rubalcava. I am a mechanical engineer and I work for NAVC in Port Hueneme.
Okay. And what is it like to go to work every day?
It's different every day. You, depending on what you're working on, you deal a lot with the team that you're working with. Well, at least for me, I do. There's a team of us of about 6 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So every day we get to work. You read through your emails depending on things that pop up. The stuff that we work on is in-service engineering. So basically, if anything comes up with equipment that's on the ship that breaks or needs any updates, things like that, we deal with that. Some days we do show up to work and we have this new issue that comes up, so we kind of have to deal with it. That's part of the job that we do. There's a lot of issues that come up last minute, so you kind of have to think on your feet. The team that I work with, we started this process called Agile. So what we do is every day we meet for about 10 minutes or so, and we go around the table and everybody talks about the project that they're working on that day, any issues that they come up with, and it's just supposed to be a really quick, like 1 minute wrap up of what you're doing. We found that process to be very efficient, or at least very helpful for our team, because it makes sure that everybody's on track, everybody's getting the help that they need and things like that. It's just for me, engineering, at least at this job, it's a lot of working with teams, a lot more than what I thought during school. So it's a good thing because you interact with other people, you bounce ideas off of them, and it's a lot of teamwork.
And could you tell me about one of the things maybe you're working on?
I work on the LCS program, so it's a littoral combat ship. It's the new class of ships that is coming out in the Navy. I work on the mission module side. So the idea for this ship that's different than any other Navy ship, it's that it has its mission packages. So equipment that goes on the ship, they install it in the ship, they take it out for a mission, they come back in port, and then they take that package off and install a different package so they can go do a different type of mission. So it's supposed to be modular.
Oh.
So I work on the module side of it, on the equipment that goes on and off the ship.
Are you designing the different the modules to make it modular?
I would say most of the design is contracted out, but we deal with the in-service. So once the equipment is on, we kind of help maintain it throughout its life cycle.
Very interesting. And what is the best part about your profession?
For me, I think engineering, there's a lot of opportunity for creativity. I think there's a lot of technology coming out there and a lot of ways for engineers to really help and create new things.
What are some of the things that you see you're able to be very creative with engineering?
Well, at work, sometimes problems come up and they're new type of problems because this is a new type of ship, fast-paced and quick thinking.
What is rewarding about your profession?
It's like, okay, good, you did your job. Now let's move on to the next thing. Within our group, within our department, I feel like there is a lot of recognition. There's a lot of good engineering being done at the base, and they're starting to get better about recognizing those accomplishments, or making sure people are being recognized.
Do you have a personal connection to your profession from your childhood, or anything that you did, like hobbies or anything that has led to what you're doing today?
I've always really liked math. I didn't decide to do engineering until my freshman year of college. That's when I took an intro to engineering class, and I really liked it. It covered all majors, and I just thought it was really interesting. So I started taking a couple more engineering classes, and that's how I got into it.
And when you were younger, around 8 to 14, what did you imagine you would do for work?
When I was in elementary school, I always thought it would be cool to be an astronaut. But as I got older, I realized that I'm not a big fan of heights, and roller coasters are not my thing. So I figured that wouldn't be good. As I got into middle school, I got more and more into math, so I figured maybe I could do something with math, but I didn't know what.
When did you start knowing you were really great at math? Was that something that just evolved when you were younger?
I remember when I was in fourth grade, my teacher at the time had she had tests that we would take every Friday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd take one test every Friday, and you'd have to get 100% on the test to be able to take the next level. And I believe she had like 20 to 25 tests, right? All in order. And I wasn't able to complete all the tests because, that fourth grade, I wasn't able to complete the test because we didn't take enough. We didn't take all 25. But I remember once I got to fifth grade, I kept going back to the fourth grade teacher every week until I finished the exams. And I was the first student to ever finish the entire set for her exams.
Do you still keep in close contact with the fourth grade teacher? Was someone that helped you out later on in life, or?
I did see her several times after that. I run into her just around town, things like that. But for me, I really looked up to teachers as a student, and she was one of my influences, I guess. She always pushed me to do more and try harder.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Was there any other vivid childhood memories, growing up in school?
I remember my fifth grade teacher, I believe it was right after we finished the year. She took me and a couple of other students to UCLA to go visit the campus. That was her alma mater. And she took us kind of to go see a college campus because I had never been to a college campus before. I think for that, or she was trying to encourage us, to doing well in school, and eventually we would get to college. So she went to show us UCLA, and I remember walking around and taking pictures with the Bruin and just kind of soaking that experience in.
How was that for you when you were at the campus, the college campus?
Well, it was a new experience. I had never been to one, and UCLA being so nice and so big, I was thinking, wow, one day I'll get here. I did not end up going to UCLA, but I did go to a college here, so
Yeah.
it was just a good experience.
And what advice would you give to children who would like to enter a STEM profession?
I would tell them to definitely go into it. There's a lot of opportunity, and I would tell them to try to seize any opportunity for hands-on type of workshops or projects. Personally, I'm part of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our main goals is to provide workshops to students in the county, and we try to do workshops so that gets the kids excited about STEM. So anything that they can do hands-on, we really try to push for that.
You said the motivation for going to higher education was always a thought for you, right? Growing up, what was the motivation for that to continue on to higher education?
Well, my parents weren't able to get higher education. They grew up in Mexico. They weren't able to finish an elementary school education because they were pulled out of school to work. I think for my siblings and I, it was more like something we knew we were going to do. Just because we had the opportunity, we had to take advantage of it. Yeah. So that's kind of why I feel like it was always a given that I was going to go to college.
Awesome. And what advice or information would you give yourself when you were younger?
If I could, I guess, if I could tell myself, my past self was be more outgoing. So I was always very shy growing up. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities, as long as the person can speak up.
And I have one last question. If you could have a superhero power, what would it be and why?
Flying. Oh, for me, Superman is my favorite superhero. I always feel like he has all the powers, right? But I feel like flying is probably the best one. You'd be able to see parts of the world that no one else really does. If you would go up, fly really high and see the tops of the highest mountains, or just areas that people can't really get to. I feel like that'd be really cool.
Do you see any way to implement that superhero power into your profession today?
Well, there's a lot of work being done with drones. Drones are kind of like they're flying machines. They get glimpse of areas or views that people normally wouldn't see. So I think if I get interested and start working with drones, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be as close as I could get, probably.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to share your story. It's been really inspiring.
Thanks for your time, Jacob.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our program. STEM Inspired is a project of BC STEM Ventura County's cross-sector network to improve educational outcomes in the STEM fields from early learning to career. STEM Inspired is generously funded by Arconic. Innovation engineered. Please join us next time as we continue to dive into the lives and experiences of STEM professionals. As always, I'm Jacob Zindahaz. Discover new things. You never know when an interest can become a passion that can change the world. This has been STEM Inspired.